Hi everyone, this is episode 63 of Small Businesses Do It Better, and tonight our guest is Joel Comm. I'm geeking out just thinking about all these questions I'm going to ask him because I've probably been following him for close to 10 years now on social media and with his ebooks. So this is really exciting for me, so stay tuned if you want to ask him your questions about AdSense, marketing online, Twitter, anything entrepreneurial. We're going to talk with him in just a moment, so stay tuned. Who else is excited? I'm super stoked. Okay, I'm going to use the word stoked a lot, I think, tonight. So we're going to talk with Joel in just a moment. I want to tell you very quickly about our sponsors, which is Ovali TV. Ovali.tv hosts and produces live video events for your upcoming promotion, interview, conference, or whatever you want to market. Visit Ovali.tv to request a free 30-minute consultation to find out more about going live with your brand. And also by Cascade Valley Designs. Cascade Valley Designs, a web development studio, helps small businesses build an online presence, providing solutions that are affordable and practical. Building websites since 2001, Cascade Valley Designs offers a variety of website solutions, from basic to full integration, including social media graphics, mobile optimization, email marketing, and much more. Visit CascadeValleyDesigns.com for a free quote. Thanks to our sponsors. I want to tell you guys really quick about something that is still not as widely known as I think it should be known about marketing online, since we're talking about internet marketing tonight. And this is for those of you who have a brick and mortar establishment. Google Virtual Tours is very cool, and it's been helping a lot of businesses in our area capture customers or patients that haven't been there before. So here, what you're looking at is an example of a Google Virtual Tour. It's through a local doctor's office, and it's literally a virtual tour through the office. What you do is you contact a Google certified photographer. They come out to your establishment and take photos. They put it in their magical Google Virtual Tour machine, create this like video almost. You can walk through their office, and it is attached to your Google profile page as well as your Google Plus page. You end up with all the still images from the photographer, the professional images. So it's well worth your money and a very powerful marketing tool for those who have brick and mortar locations. So check it out. It's awesome. So that's our marketing bit. Really quick, if you are listening on iTunes, please leave us a review because it does impact our ratings and we want to stay high up in the charts. And so anyways, without further ado, let's get Joel on because I'm super excited. So, hi, Joel.
Hey, Carissa. Wow, 10 years of stalking me. That's impressive.
Yeah, I started working in an internet startup shortly after college, and you were all over, and there was probably a lot more things. It was probably when one of your first books came out. But anyways, it's really exciting for me. So thank you for joining us tonight.
My pleasure.
And for those of you who may not know who you are or have seen any of your amazing books, tell us about yourself.
Oh, wow. I've been doing stuff online since most people even knew a World Wide Web existed. Had my first website back in 1995. So I'm kind of an internet old-timer. And really kind of a Swiss Army knife because I get distracted by all the bright, shiny objects and like to play with all the new toys. So I've done everything from being the co-founder of what's now known as Yahoo Games to writing a New York Times bestseller on how to make money with Google AdSense, to having the leading book on how businesses can use Twitter, to creating a #1 iPhone application that was #1 in the world for 3 weeks. And the list of fun things just goes on. It's been a great ride.
Awesome. And this is one of your older books, Twitter Power, that I have here in my hand. It's the original Twitter Power hard copy.
Wow.
But
very impressive.
He has Twitter Power 2.0 now, which is a little more up to date for those of you who'd like to read one. AdSense code. We just flashed an image of his 4 best-selling books. The AdSense code and Twitter Power 2.0, Ka-ching, and I can't read that other one. Click here to order.
Right.
Which is a fine art, I might say.
Yeah, it's the stories of entrepreneurs like myself, people who made it, working in their bathrobes from home.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about each of your books because what I've come to see with small businesses is that a lot of things are scary. AdSense being one of them, but it's extremely powerful, and I have seen a lot of businesses completely turn around and businesses get saved by AdSense. So can you provide us with a brief kind of summary of what it is and it's not scary type, just a little background, how it's not scary. There is a science to it, but it's not something that you should run from.
No, don't be afraid. Look, Google is one of the kings of the internet, and because of the millions and millions of people that visit their site and their network of sites every day, they have all kinds of crazy advertising space. Now, most people are familiar with AdWords, where as an advertiser, you can go and have your ad show up on Google or one of their partner sites, and every time that ad is clicked, they charge you for it. Well, AdSense is the other side of that Google advertising coin, where as a web publisher, you can place a snippet of code on your website, copy and paste, real easy, so easy my mother can do it, and in fact she does on her travel blog, travelswithsheila.com. And what happens is Google pulls from their massive inventory of ads that people are posting through AdWords, and their bot will look at the content of your page and on the fly deliver advertisements that they believe are relevant to the people who are looking at your page. Every time somebody clicks on one of those ads that appear on your site, you get a little ka-ching sound. The cash register rings because Google shares the revenue from that AdWords advertiser with you, the site owner. And it's not scary, it's not intimidating, it's really easy to do. And over the years, I've made a lot of money with AdSense, and they pay out millions of dollars each day. So if you've got any traffic to your website at all, if you've got a blog, if you're posting original content, then AdSense is for you.
That was a good summary of it. Okay, so my next question is, do you have any misconceptions that people automatically assume about AdSense?
Well, one of the dangers of AdSense is that people put the code on their site and ads start showing up, and then they start clicking those ads thinking, well, I'm just, going to invite my friends and family to click the ads on my page and I'm going to start making money. And that will get you shut down. Mm-hmm. And you'll never have AdSense ads on your site again. So if you don't like AdSense, click the ads on your own page, and then you won't. It'll go away. You won't have to worry about getting paid by them. But I think that is one of the mistakes that people make. The other is that they build sites just to show AdSense ads. And that's not what it's all about. You build a website because you want to bring value to people who are going to come to your site. You want to create original content. So the focus of putting up your website should always be to express your passion, your talent, your skills, your ability, your personality, so that you bring value to people who are your site visitors and readers. And as you do that, more and more people are going to want to read what you have to say. You can monetize those visitors and that content with Google AdSense and a number of other ways as well.
And what are your tips on seamlessly integrating these ads? Because you see sites that you're like, oh my goodness, this is just ridiculous. I mean, it's clear as day, but there's ways to do it to where it looks like it belongs there.
Sure. My favorite way to do it is to integrate what we call a rectangle ad. It's usually about 300 by 250 pixels, so kind of like that. Can't quite do it, man. Maybe I should just do a heart. Put a heart ad. No, if you do a rectangle and you want to post it in line with your content. Now, a lot of WordPress blog themes that people are using these days actually have that functionality integrated, like the Socrates theme, socratestheme.com. is made for people who want to produce niche content sites and have AdSense integrated with it already. And so that's my favorite. When you take your ads and you put them in the bottom of the page, you may as well not have them there because nobody's going to see them or click them. If you put them in the sidebar or in the top of the page, that's where people are accustomed to seeing advertisements and they become banner blind. So since they are expecting an ad there, that's what they're getting. They don't really look at it. You want to go where people's eyeballs are drawn to, and that's where the content is.
Exactly. I want to say hi to Aunt Ruby, who's joining us really quick. She's a viewer all the time. So Aunt Ruby, let us know if you have any Twitter questions, because she is Aunt Ruby on Twitter. And
hi, Aunt Ruby.
Okay, so let's talk about Twitter really quick. Well, not really quick. I could go on for a long time, but
let's talk about it slowly. Because we only have 140 characters with which to tweet, so let's drag it out.
So a lot of the small businesses I speak with are Facebook people, because Twitter intimidates them. It's a little too fast-paced for their business type of lifestyle. So what would you have to say about those who find Twitter intimidating or just kind of are not really into it?
Well,
they don't get it, I don't think.
Breathe. Because there's nothing to be scared of. I like to see Twitter as the water cooler of our time. You know, when you're in an office space, people get up from their desk and they go over to the water cooler to get a drink, and usually there's somebody else roaming by, maybe a few people hanging out. And what do they talk about when they're there? Well, they talk about their kids, they talk about work, they talk about their boss, they talk about last night's game, they talk about what was on TV, they talk about anything and everything. And that's what Twitter is. Twitter is this giant water cooler where 200 million people a day are just talking about whatever is on their mind. Well, just like Facebook, with so many people present at any one time, this is where your audience is. And if you have a business, you want to go to where the people are and join the conversation. You want to head over to the water cooler and engage in the dialogue with the people who are there. And just like Facebook, you set up a page that is branded to you, and you seek to bring value to the others that are in the community. You do that a number of ways. You do it by asking questions, you do it by answering questions, you do it by commenting on tweets that other people send, engaging with them, following people that are in your niche or market, and inviting retweeting things that people say that you think are valuable to share. It's all very organic. There's not it doesn't have to be pretentious, and it doesn't have to be a big marketing billboard. In fact, it shouldn't be. It should be very natural. Engage with people the way you would as if you were at a party and you're speaking, you're going up from one group to another and you're introducing yourself and you're talking with them and you're building relationships.
Great.
It's not rocket science.
And Aunt Ruby in the chat wants to know, what are the best hidden advantages of Twitter? What works but really is never talked about?
Well, you know what? If somebody found a new way to decodify human nature, then I would say there's a hidden secret, but really it's all about being authentic. It's not a secret at all. It's just keeping it real, being true to who you are, being available to share what's happening in your life and in your world, and not treating it like you're a person on the corner with a bullhorn yelling about what you have for sale. People are annoyed by that. So I wish there was some secret, but if there were, it wouldn't be a secret for very long, and everybody would be doing it, and then it wouldn't work anymore. So I think authenticity is really the key to any success in any form of social media, not just Twitter.
Good tip. And so for those of you, let me try to get the angle right so you can see it. Twitter Power is Joel's book. He has Twitter Power 2.0 for those of you who don't have the original dusty yellowed book.
It's yellowed? What have you been doing to it, Carissa?
Maybe it was in the light or something.
Yes. You're reading it on the beach. That was it. The sun, the UV rays have yellowed the book. So,
and if you go to joelcomm.com, he has all 4 of his books there to talk about. What are some ways that you could suggest for businesses or entrepreneurs or anybody to convert Twitter followers or Twitter engagement into dollars or sales?
Well, I think that the main purpose of social media sites is not to build your social media following. The main purpose of your social media sites is to draw attention to you and your brand and get people engaging with you and talking to you on your site. Ultimately, you don't own anything on Facebook. They're letting you use their page to talk. You don't own anything on Twitter. You do own your domain, your blog. And so a key is making sure that you're creating original content that helps people with whatever your expertise is, whether you sell a physical product or a digital product or services, whatever that is, you're an expert in that arena, and your site should be providing content on an ongoing basis, whether the written word, the spoken word, or video. And you want to use social media to drive people back to your site, just like you would use email. When people send an email newsletter, it's never a good idea to send out your entire newsletter in that email. What I like to do is give them a tease with a headline and the first two paragraphs, which then send them to my blog where they can read the entire article, comment on it, share it, interact with it in some other way. And so just like you would use email marketing to drive traffic to your blog, you would also use Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, Instagram, and all the rest of the sites to funnel them to your space.
Definitely. And I recently read someone, I can't remember off the top of my head, I talked about it last week, but somebody wrote an article about Google+. Google's going to start indexing hashtags on Google+. Have you heard anything about that, or no?
I just heard the same rumor that you did. I know nothing further about it, though.
I'm curious about that. That's like, ooh, I wonder if they'll start. Anyways. Okay, so this is a good question, and I love this one because a lot of businesses that watch the show are service-based, are not brick and mortar. So service-based businesses, I wrote this question funny. So let me read this myself.
Were you dressed as a clown when you wrote it? Get it?
Clowns are scary.
You wrote it funny? Okay.
I probably would have been like Cookie Monster or something. That's my go-to funny guy. Okay, so service-based businesses, what do you suggest they can do online to get sales if there's not a brick and mortar? Because a lot of these guys, it's a different type of marketing online where they can't have walk-in and they can't, it's less word of mouth in communities. So what would you suggest as a general kind of rule for service-based businesses converting to sales online on their website?
Well, remember, sales is the end result of a four-step process that goes like this. Like me, know me, trust me, pay me. That sale occurs at that last step, pay me. And I think that is a really organic step that takes place almost automatically if people grow to like, know, and trust you. And so your social presence should not be focused on making the sales. Rather, it should be focused on bringing value to people through whatever profession, whatever expertise your service provides. So if you're, say, a certified public accountant, then on your Twitter feed, you're going to be posting articles that are related to tax season, right? And changes in tax law and maybe tax humor. Things that people that are looking for a CPA or going to want to identify with. That way they get to they like you. On Twitter, when we like somebody, we follow them. And as we follow somebody's tweets, we get to know who they are more and more. And based on the quality of what they're sending out, how they're engaging, we grow to trust people. Well, once trust is in place, if you're looking for a CPA and you trust this person you've met online, aren't you more likely to retain their services? You can apply that same model to any service industry, any product, any goods, any association, any nonprofit. It's basic human nature, and I think people tend to overcomplicate this whole social media thing, and it's really, not only is it not rocket science, it's also not brain surgery, which is good because I'm neither a rocket scientist nor a brain surgeon, and I've
contradictory to what your Twitter profile says, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's my. What else did I say there?
Nuclear physicist, I think.
Right, the usual stuff.
So that's an excellent point because so many people say, I have the hardest time getting Twitter followers and I can't grow my audience and no one answers me. And so it's like, why? And it's because everything is a resume fact or a sales pitch. It's not anything about personality or helping anybody else.
Right.
There's of no value to it.
Right. And where in life does that work? I mean, I like to picture the door-to-door salesman selling vacuum cleaners who comes knocking on the door, and the poor housewife is in her curlers with kids pulling on her, and he's like, you want to buy this vacuum cleaner? And she's like, okay, not only do I not want to give you money for this vacuum cleaner, but I don't trust you because you're just coming here selling me something, knocking on my door in the middle of the day. Can't you see I'm busy? I don't know who you are, and I definitely don't like you for all those reasons. And so what makes us think that we can approach people any differently in social? Just because you can do something with a computer doesn't mean you should.
Well put, because those, and another thing too, the trust, like you mentioned earlier, how are you going to ever find this vacuum guy again? He just walked up. I mean, build the repertoire and the reputation with these people online through your brand, and that fourth step, ask for their money. Right.
Otherwise, people are always going to think your vacuum cleaner just sucks.
Or doesn't suck. Goodness.
Thought you'd like that.
The producer's laughing over here, if you can hear
I could hear that,
Sorry.
No, that was meant to get a laugh, so I'm glad.
I don't have a drum roll. Every episode I'm like, I need a drum roll or a ding-ching thing. Ka-ching. Do you have your button? Your ka-ching?
I don't have one right here. I have one on my desk in the other room.
Have you guys seen those?
Would you like me to get it?
It's okay. I can kind of relate it to the Staples button, where it's the easy button and you push it, but Joel says ka-ching, and when you push it, it's the the cash register, the old cash register is opening with that.
Right, you can go
dollar noise.
It's kachingbutton.com, K-A-C-H-I-N-G, kachingbutton.com, and you can actually demo it. There's a flash image on the screen. You can press it and hear the actual sound, and you can order your own button.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to ask you really quick before we let you go about Google's algorithm changes. How have you seen this generally affect when they make an update? It's kind of a big shift. So how have you noticed with AdSense, with any kind of marketing that you've been doing over this long term, how have you noticed these things get changed when Google puts out one of their updates?
When Google puts out one of their notorious Animal Farm updates, Panda, Penguin, whatever, honestly, I don't pay much attention to it because my focus is on creating content that's valuable. I have no control over the changes that they're going to make. I have no control if my site's going to get indexed better or worse. And so I just focus on creating that content and also not putting all my eggs in the Google basket. Mm-hmm. There's other ways to monetize your site. And if you're dependent just on organic traffic from Google to draw people to your site, I have seen sites absolutely decimated overnight with one of the updates, and a lot of sites that were making good money with AdSense, great money with AdSense, that are just worth maybe 10% of what they were worth before because they built on the foundation of Google. You can't do that. You got to build your own foundation on your own piece of property where you have as much control as possible, and then you need to find ways to diversify your income and not just depend upon Google, because when they unleash the animals, you can get ripped to shreds. Boy, I'm coming up with all kinds of quotable stuff tonight. I should be writing this down.
That's a good one. Well, it's kind of funny. You got, between all the different software tech companies, you got penguins and mountain lions, and you got everything. They just, very entertaining.
Lions
you
and
could make a zoo.
Pandas.
Oh my. So it's almost time to let you go, but I want to make sure you tell everybody where we can find you online. If you've got anything that you're going to be speaking at or doing because you're in Colorado, or if you have another book that you'd like to talk about or anything like that.
I am so incredibly findable because, as chance would have it, I'm the only Joel Comm in the world. Wow. And that is my real name too. Proof that God has a great sense of humor. That I would be a speech comm major and end up, being in this internet entrepreneur in the .com era. So it's JOELCOMM.com, and people can find me in any of the social sites. Friend me up there and follow me, and let's interact, communicate, shoot me some questions, and we'll have a great time.
Well, I want to thank you so much for talking with us tonight and answering our questions, because you do have amazing information. Joel's got a ton of ebooks. If you go to his website, there's a tab for all of them, and you can download them and get them there. Priceless, invaluable information. And there's some fabulous testimonials that he has from businesses that he really did make a significant impact on. So make sure you check out joelcomm.com. Joe, did I say that right? JoelComm.com?
You did.
I said it too fast. So thank you again for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Fabulous information. Thanks everybody for your questions in the chat as well. And I need to flip on over to, I think I closed it. Aunt Ruby's in here typing noises so we can laugh at ourselves some more. So tonight's product, this is really cool, and I'm glad I've heard about this company. The product that we're featuring tonight is GraphicSprings.com. And what Graphic Springs is it's a website, as you can see behind me, but I'm going to show you some images so you can get a closer look. Graphic Springs is a simple and intuitive web app that allows users to design their own professional looking logo in minutes. The technology was developed by bootstrapping entrepreneurs for bloggers, nonprofits, entrepreneurs, and micro businesses, or anyone operating on a shoestring budget or creatively challenged. So users are guided through a simple process that allows them to choose from thousands of original and quality logo graphics. Advanced editing technologies such as graphics and text effects allow users to fully customize their logo, colors, based on a color theory algorithm. And Graphic Springs is quickly growing and constantly improving and tweaking its features of database of logos. So this is a logo that I just didn't throw up, but put together very quickly using Graphic Springs. And as you can see, I think it's the second image. Here's their homepage. Let's go through the next one really quick. Can you go to the next one? Okay, so here is an example screenshot of the library of images that they have. They have so many in here in all industries. You can, once you select a logo, then it brings it to the editor, which is here, and it throws it on there for you. You can edit see, I picked like a presidential looking one, and all those leaves can individually be edited in colors. So, and then the next screen, there's editing. You can bevel it, make it glow, add shadows, customize all your colors to everything. It's really detailed and really intricate. You can edit your text. It changes the font on there. You can move it around really easy, make it larger, make it smaller. So there's my little small business association logo that I built online. But there's so many different, I guess, stock logos that you can use. And it's really easy, really fast. It's free. And then you can download the logo right when you're done. And it's also not only great for logos, but if you have an event, you can make a special image for an event or for an icon of some sort on your website. There's endless possibilities. And again, that's graphicsprings.com. So check them out. Excellent website. I love that. Ooh, this is super exciting. Next week, our guest is going to be in studio, which is, I think, the last in studio guest was like on episode 2 or something. It was a really long time ago. But next week, we're going to have an in studio guest, and it's going to be Roger Sullivan. He's the founder, owner, whatever, of Wired Waffles. If you remember him on Shark Tank, was recently featured on MSN, Ellen, all over the place. And Roger actually lives pretty close to our studio, so he's going to stop in for the show. That's going to be really exciting. Wired Waffles, they have caffeinated waffles and syrups, so we may be even more electric than we are now, eating caffeine in abundance at nighttime. So join us next week. Yeah, he's bringing waffles. We're gonna have some waffles. Maybe some syrup. And I don't know if he'll talk about it, but he's starting up another company, so maybe he'll share some of that information with us. So that's next week. You can watch us all the time on smallbusinessesdoitbetter.com or in iTunes. If you are listening in iTunes or watching, please leave us a review or a rating. That's appreciated because it makes a big difference. And the shows are every Tuesday night live at smallbusinessesdoitbetter.com. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week.